Taking out student loans was the worst I've ever made in my entire life.
I am over $100,000 in debt.
I have $140,000 in student debt.
Most effective thing you can do, you need to go find the most profitable skill you can find as quickly as possible.
What's up, financial hawks? So in today's video, we're going to be going over student loans, or people talking about student loans. If you've been in college, I know a majority of you have had or currently have student loans. And yeah, it is crazy. With student loans, you can't, if I'm not mistaken, get bankruptcy and then have that taken out. That will be with you until it is either paid off, or I guess the government can help you out, or some type of assistance type of thing. I think there's some things that you can be like a teacher or something for like 10 years or 20 years or something like that, and they'll take out your student loans or take out like a large percentage. And yeah, I kind of just want to hear people's thoughts on student loans who currently have it, and maybe some of them who have already paid it off, kind of their thoughts on it, and the craziness on how high colleges have been these last decades. Just the amount it has increased, that's just been crazy. So let's go ahead and start the first video, and yeah, we'll go from there.
Like, the calls are really making me regret ever going to college, considering I'm not even doing anything in my degree. But like, these calls are just a reminder that I'm like, first of all, doing nothing with my life. Second of all, broke as shit. And yes, I hee about it here, but like, it's literally not a joke. It's like embarrassing, and it's like the most stressful thing. And I never want to be the person that's like driven by money. Like, that's not me. But like, sometimes I wish I was, so I wouldn't be in the position I am in. And like, dealing with these calls and having to basically say my situation, like, I literally cannot pay off an amount on these damn student loans. And then the fact that they're so relentless, they call every person in my family, they call people not related to me, but like associated with me. And I don't even know how it's just crazy. And it's like, I hate it. It's like, you're coming at me for my own little debt when this country's in debt. Like, it's so frustrating, and it gets me so angry. And literally, it's like, I avoid these calls at all times. They send me into full-on panic attacks. But then sometimes I just have to make the call because they're calling everyone else in my life. And it's so frustrating. And yes, maybe I did it to myself. Maybe I should be smarter about money. Maybe I should just take on any job that like will pay me. And I'm luckily finally starting a job, but it's not what I want to be doing. Not using my degree. It's another serving job. It's fucking working at Hooters at 28 years old, living back at home. It's like, and then it's moments like these that make me question whether anything I want to do in life is going to happen, like at this stage, because it's so annoying. And I just had to vent because fuck it all.
Okay. So that was a lot on that. I do understand her with, the, I guess, anxiety you may feel initially with getting student loans. And I kind of just made some notes on this, so I'll kind of just be looking at that as well. But one of the first things I noted was that she was, I guess, mad or had like anxiety at first of them calling her. And yeah, when I first, like right after I graduated from college, like literally, it seemed like the next day they were already calling me, talking about, hey, let's go ahead and set up your plan. Let's go ahead and set up this, and then let's go and set up that. Like, I feel like the next day after graduation. So I definitely understand her. I'm feeling the anxiety there, because it's like, God dang, like I just graduated. I just graduated, and you're already calling me 5, 6, 7 times a day, leaving me all type of voice messages already, asking that like as if I had to pay everything right then. So I definitely understand her there, which is crazy. But I mean, that's like understanding her there like initially. I will say, like, once I actually talked with the people and I guess had the account set up where they would be taking the money out like after 6 months, because I think there's like a 6-month leeway, I want to say. And after that, then you'll still have to pay. So yeah, after I set that up, then I didn't get any more calls anymore. They didn't call me up anymore. I guess I never got to the point where they were calling up family. So I guess they've been calling her for a long time on that. Another thing she talked about too was the payments. You see, with student loans, like there's several different ways you can pay. Like there is like the expedited way. I believe you can pay like a higher amount, get it done within like 10 years. And then there's like other ways you can pay that like matches your income. So I'm assuming she doesn't know this, or maybe she does, but she still doesn't want to pay. But that's something to also look into if you are like in school right now and you know thinking about student loans or whatnot. There are different payment plans, and if you want me to, or I guess if I'm seeing a whole lot of comments, maybe I can do a video talking about the different ways you can pay student loans. But one of the ways you can do it is like it can be based on your income. So like if you're only making like $2,000 a month, your student loan payment will be lower. You'll be paying for a longer amount of time, but you will still be able to pay towards it. I feel like there's different ways that you can also call these people up and also work towards it as well. At least from what I've been hearing from my friends who have student loans and had to find different ways to pay for it because they didn't have a job for X amount of time. So yeah, just letting her know right there. And I think they can do pauses on it too if you like lose your job and you let them know on that too. So like there's different ways you can still pay. It's not just like one payment that you have to pay and that's it. Like there's different like payment methods on that. Now, she also talked about she wish she cared about money more. Yeah, on that. I mean, I feel her. I wish more people care about money. But I mean, like you getting loans and then like you not wanting to not pay anymore because you don't care about money. It's like that, the world doesn't work like that. She also talked about too, I wrote down that she was mad that they were trying to like get on her for her to pay her debt. But then our country's also in debt. And in actuality, if you think about it, that makes even more sense of why why they're hitting you up more because the country is in debt. So like now they had to be like really sure that they get their money back from everybody here. So yeah, it makes sense. Like if we're in debt, they're going to tax you. They're going to make sure they get their money from you some way, somehow. So then they can help pay off our whole debt. So, maybe if we weren't in debt, maybe we had like zero debt, then maybe I could see like, hey, our country has zero debt. Give me a little break, too there. But shoot, like, hey, our country needs some money right now. I was like, hey, student loan may be one way we can get some money, depending on, I guess, what type of student loans you're getting, like private or, whatnot. But yeah, I know it sucks. I don't know exactly how much she has. That's a big question too. But yeah. I mean, like when you're younger, you might not exactly see it on how much you'll be paying, but at least have like a thought that you're going to have to pay something back on that. She's 28 too. Again, I'm not exactly sure when she actually graduated, but she graduated at 22. She had like 6 years, to work towards that. And I guess something is still not working. And like in situations like this, again, this is why I definitely recommend having multiple sources of income. Check out some of my previous videos on that. But let's go ahead and watch the second video. And I'm going to wish them better luck on this one.
For those of us with student loans, don't forget the moratorium that the government put on student loan repayments and credit card or credit scores has been lifted. And if you are behind on student loan payments, those will affect your credit score moving forward. So make sure that you're paying attention to that because that was just announced today.
Okay, let me sure we play that one more time.
For those of us with student loans, don't forget the moratorium that the government put on student loan repayments and credit card or credit scores has been lifted. And if you are behind on student loan payments, those will affect your credit score moving forward. So make sure that you're paying attention to that because that was just announced today.
Okay, cool. So I'm not gonna lie, I never knew that. I guess that was a thing. I just assumed that if you didn't pay your student loans, that one of the things that were going to happen was that your credit score was going to go down. So you guys can let me know if this is true. If anybody had not paid their student loans for a good amount of time, did you not see a difference in your credit score? That's interesting. That is interesting. Like, I guess, it's like it's already too late for me to like test this out really. But I'm not gonna lie, if it didn't affect it, I may have tried it just to test it out. Interesting. Yeah, I was not aware of this. I have really no major comment on this. I was just really not aware of this. Again, if this is true, let me know in the comments. If you tried to not pay your student loan for a long time, did you have to worry about your credit score dropping? I feel like that's crazy if that's true. But I guess that's one good thing. I guess on student loans, even though you can't file bankruptcy on it, I guess if you didn't pay, you had to worry about your credit score going down. So hey, that's what's up. Let's go and play the next one here. And he owes $145,000. Oh man, it's going to be good. I'm hoping it's going to be good, and she can pay this off. Let's see.
Debt. Can I even afford my minimum monthly payments? Let's find out. I have approximately $145,000 of student loan debt. Can I even afford my minimum monthly payments? Let's find out. I have 3 types of student loans. I have 2 federal student loans and 1 private student loan.
For my federal loans, my first one has a monthly payment of $399.37 a month. The second loan is $693.93 a month. And for my private student loan, my monthly payment is $642.33. In total, I owe monthly my minimum payment of $1,735.63. That is a crazy amount of money. Do I even make enough money to afford this? For my average, I'm averaging my take home. This isn't my gross income. So this is the average I make approximately per month for my take home. I do have 3 jobs. I have a full-time job and I'm a home infusion nurse. And I also work as a per diem hospice nurse. And I also make additional money on TikTok. So in total, I make approximately an average take home of $8,180.66. So my student loans is about 21% of my monthly payments. And this also does not take into account like my monthly mortgage, other like monthly payments that I have for bills and utilities and all of that stuff.
Okay. So I'm liking that she's actually working, or like she doesn't mind working that, extra job or 2, having multiple sources of income. She has 3 different jobs, her nursing job and the other ones. So she has several different incomes coming. So if she loses one, and not like she's like, so out of luck. And she's making 8,000 or taking home 8,000. So probably, more than that. And then after taxes or whatnot, still coming back with 8,000. So that's good there. Sucks that, student loans is 21% of her money, but I mean, student loans is a good chunk of your money a lot of the different times. Now, I'm pretty sure if she really wanted to, she could do maybe a longer term and paying more. But I guess the sooner she can get it paid off, the better on that. $2,000 a month dang there on that is, again, crazy, but she is actively, I guess, using her degree, which is great. She didn't get something that she wasn't going to use. I've heard that nursing, you can make some good money, I guess, depending on if you're traveling, if you're not traveling, and I guess like the state of affairs of the actual country. I know like during COVID, it was like really big. And like, I feel like they were giving overtime 24/7, it seemed like. I'm not exactly sure how that is currently, but I'm pretty sure that, it's still a good amount of flow for people, for sure. And let's see. Also too, so, okay, let's say she's taking home 8,000, and like 2,000 of that is, towards student loans, or just about round that up a bit. So she has about $6,000 left. Now, I don't know how much her mortgage is. And this can definitely fluctuate depending on what area you're in. If she's like in Texas, for example, and it may be a pretty good spot, she could be paying $1.5 to $2,000 a month. So let's say $2,000 a month. So she has to $2,000 student loans, and then $2,000 for the mortgage. So it's $4,000. So again, she has another $4,000 to spend on insurance, her bills, XYZ. So I think she should still be able to have some extra money at the end of each month to be able to save up. I believe so. I don't know all her other bills, but I think she is in a better spot than a lot of people, for sure. And again, she doesn't have just one job. She is working multiple jobs. And I'm glad that she's utilizing social media like TikTok to find additional ways to make money. Because at least with like TikTok and stuff, and like YouTube and whatnot, you can make money while you sleep. Especially with YouTube, if you can create a good library of, videos and whatnot, and have people watching those videos year after year, you can just make money from videos you've done or work that you've done, like, a long time ago, and still reap those rewards. And I think that's definitely powerful and important in today's society if you're trying to have additional income, just again, how crazy everything is with stuff. But a good job there. Like, she's not complaining. She's out here grinding. I like to see that. I like to see people out here, she's trying, and like just giving up and just, blaming everybody on everything. I'm liking that she's actually, putting the work in. I like that a lot. Let's go ahead and play this next video. And let's see, student loan payments are non-negotiable. Okay, let's see.
You won't be able to get a mortgage. Your check will be garnished, and every single tax refund that you need, they're going to take it. To the people who don't have the money to actually pay back your student loans, I'm sorry. But to the people who do have the money and you just like, they can get it back in blood, Biden can pay my student loans back, your ass gonna learn a hard ass lesson. I am Tiana of the Rose Firm, tailored finance for every Black woman. Baby, let me tell y'all something. Ooh, once they start garnishing them paychecks, baby, they ain't gonna stop till they done.
I can't stop, won't stop, won't.
And it's really not funny, but it's a lot of y'all in my comment section on the video that is titled "Student Loan Payments Are Due Regardless" that are like, I ain't paying them back. Okay, girl, I know that's wrong. But anyways, if you are actually wanting to learn how to budget your student loan payments into your budget, but you don't know how to budget, there's a link in the bio where you can join the membership waitlist. The membership will be opening up on January 17th. First day of class will be January.
Okay, let me replay that beginning part.
You won't be able to get a mortgage. Your check will be garnished, and every single tax refund that you need, they're going to take it.
All right. Okay. I just to make sure I was talking about if you didn't pay your student loan, yeah, they'll take it, from your paychecks. Can't get a house, XYZ. I guess you can just rent for the rest of your life. But yeah, like there are punishments for you not paying your student loans. It looks like for the longest time, I guess your credit score was not punished. Again, I'm amazed on that. Maybe I might do some more research on that. I'm surprised that didn't decrease, but it looks like everything else is more normal if you're not paying, in terms of them taking it out of your paychecks. Obviously, yeah, loans, you trying to get other loans is going to look bad. It's like, hey, you're not paying this loan. How do I know you're going to pay, this other loan? I'm not exactly sure how that works with auto loans. Maybe if you just have a high amount, they still won't let you. Maybe if it's like super low when you're not paying, they may let you slide. Maybe if you're a car salesman, definitely let me know. But yeah. I think that's kind of like a more funny, joking way to say, hey, you need to pay your student loans. You can't just out here just hope and wish that it's going to get paid out for you. I know that they've been talking about this a lot. I know like in politics and whatnot with the student loans, and you're going to get that, I guess, repaid or get that taken out for you. But I mean, they keep getting blocked, and I don't really think that's going to actually happen, or at least not anytime soon. For a majority of people, on occasion, you might see like comments, especially like on like Twitter and maybe Instagram sometime, like, hey, X amount of people got their student loans forgiven, XYZ. But it's like that many people in actuality, maybe like 0% or maybe 1% of people, and they're doing something else. They're not, it's like, I don't know, like they may be like in certain programs or something along those lines to have their stuff forgiven, but they're not going to be the majority of people. So I wouldn't put all my hopes in that. I would definitely try to find a second or third source of income and try to budget, correctly as well to help pay towards your student loans. And again, try to find other methods of paying. If you can't pay like the full amount, I'm pretty sure there are other like methods, like the way that you can have it being based on how much you're currently making a month. Again, your term is going to be longer, obviously, but as you increase your income, you then can increase the amount of money you pay. Let's go ahead and play the next one here.
How much student loan debt you have?
5-ish.
Have student loan debt?
Yes, I'd say maybe 15,000.
Do you have student loan debt?
Yeah.
Can I ask you how much student loan debt you have?
5-ish K that I would have to pay off soon. Like, it's not that bad yet because it's only first semester.
How much would you say you'll have towards the end of school?
Like, yeah, probably 50K.
Do you have student loan debt?
Yes.
How much student loan debt do you have?
Honestly, I would say I'm like pretty privileged in comparison to a lot of other people. Like I have under 10,000, but I have friends that have 40,000, so
Yeah.
I can't complain.
Do you have student loan debt?
Oh God, I don't even know. I'm probably gonna take out like so much money.
How much do you think you would have to take out?
For another like 3 years, I guess I'm gonna take out like 60.
Okay. Like the first thing I thought about this when I first saw this was it's probably low because they're still in school. And yeah, a lot of people are actually still in school. So I think it's not really like a good one to actually compare because, okay, you got 15, maybe 20,000 right now while you're still in school, but you could be a freshman. So by the time you're actually leaving school, you got 80,000 or 100,000. So I think, yeah, for like a first semester, first year, unfortunately, that does seem more like the normal, that 5 to 10, 15, 20,000. I guess depending on what type of school you're going to and whatnot. I definitely recommend, if possible, going to a community college for 2 years. That will save you so much money. That will save so much money. I was just looking at just the cost of community college versus like a regular college, let alone a private college, and it's like night and day. And you can like save so freaking much money. And also too, the biggest thing you can learn during the years at the community college, and again, I didn't do a community college, but if I could go back in time, I guess that's something I would look into. But you can actually have like a better idea of what type of career you would like to go into, because a lot of people go into college and you think you may like something, and in actuality that's something that you may not end up actually liking or end up pursuing. Again, I've switched majors 2 times. I went from computer science to business, and then I went from business admin to digital media. So, and like throughout that path, like I didn't even know about like digital media stuff prior to me going into college, and I didn't even know about like all the different like tech stuff too. Like with just I want to say like not CompTIA A+ stuff, but like you're dealing with computers and different stuff like that. That wasn't necessarily just coding. Like it was just so much I just did not know that now I do know. I know where to research. I know where to go. So like for younger people now, maybe I might do like a video talking about that, like where to go so you can like really see what type of things you would actually like to do, because you may like computers, but you might not like the coding side of things. Like I didn't like the coding, at least at that time. So I just left that. I just left that field completely. And I didn't have that field completely, but I just had no idea. And I had nobody like over me or older than me really who was like, hey, okay, you are good with computers, so here's some other fields within the computer realm that you could be good at. Cybersecurity really wasn't a thing too when I went to college. Now it's big as heck now. And I'm pretty sure if I would have learned that or heard about that back then, I would have liked that a lot. So yeah, having like good mentors can definitely help out on this for sure. If your parents don't actually know all the different fields, mentors are good. YouTube is good now because you see so many different YouTube videos of people helping out people, picking out your degrees, finding different fun things within each field that you can do, more technical and less technical. So you have like different options. So yeah, YouTube is another big thing. I'm trying to like get school counselors as well that can help out too. And if you can like get like a full list of like all the different degrees and whatnot. And man, like I wish like when I was looking at mine, I wish they had more like how much the average salary would be on each of these positions, on all the different like roles or different degree plans. I just felt like that would have helped out too. Like, okay, if I want business, administration or whatnot, the average salary is XYZ. If you're doing digital media for for this type of digital media, you may get XYZ, but for this type, you may get XYZ. If you're trying to be a person doing films and you're like a regular worker, you get paid this much. But if you become a director, you make this much. It's gonna just having it just more broken down. I guess with technology, YouTube and whatnot, you can find that pretty quick. But back then, I just felt like that was just a thing a lot of people wasn't really thinking about. And it's harder to find that information than it is now. But yeah, I'm definitely wishing them the best of luck. Again, 5,000-10,000 ain't too bad if you're just thinking of just like, I guess 1 year, 1 semester, well, 2 semesters, 1 year. But yeah, that can add up. That can definitely add up. So hopefully he can do a part 2 somehow and find these people and ask them how much they have to pay after they're done. Because yeah, it's probably gonna be a lot higher than that. Unfortunately. And just the increases again of college over the years has been crazy, especially to the amount of money that people are making. And actually, matter of fact, let me show you guys this real quick while that's playing. And college tuition. Yeah, let's see. It's crazy like how much it has increased by. I'm gonna see if I can find a chart for you guys too while I am having that play. But if I can't find it, I can probably do like a second video on this. But it's just crazy like how much it has increased. Oh, here it goes. Perfect. Well, this might be one of them, but like look at this chart right here, for example. So percentage change in college costs and earnings for young workers since 1980. And look at the average college cost versus the average earnings between these ages 22 to 27. So initially it was closer. The cost of college was closer to the amount of the average. It was, pretty close. And then as you guys can see, the earnings actually went down. So while the amount that it cost to go to college went up, the average earnings that the people, like young people, were making was lower, like way lower, like less than zero. And look at that, 1995, it goes down even more, while the average college costs increased. And then slowly, the average amount of money kind of went up a little bit, and then it went down, and it went up a little bit, and it went down. And then it's kind of going up. It is kind of going up. We have been getting minimum wage increases, what's like $15 in a lot of different places, and it has slowly increased now. But if you can compare that to the amount that it has cost for college, it never decreased, or like barely, maybe like it just stayed the same around 1990s, but it just continually increased, and it's going to continually increase. Over 160% increase. It's going to continue to increase while our wages and everything are way down here. It'd be different if it stayed closer. It don't have to be exactly the same, but if it was closer, it'd be a whole lot better. But over the years, it has not. It's not. And again, we are in a big increase now, but I can see it decreasing again. But this is not going to decrease. This right here is not going to decrease. It's going to keep on going higher and higher. So yeah, it's just crazy the amount it has increased. So like when older people were going back to school, it was a whole lot different. You know, like when your parents and grandparents were going to college, it was a whole lot different compared to now. Like again, you paying 100,000 plus, but you're only going to be leaving with $35,000 for a lot of different career paths. So again, the reasoning for you at a school has changed a lot. If you're not doing like computer stuff, like engineering, maybe being a lawyer, a doctor, it may not be worth it for a lot of people unless you go to like a community college first. Let's go ahead and play our next one.
Student loans. I cringe a little every time I say that. Right now, I'm on one of the income-driven repayment plans, and I pay about $200 per month. So I was a college athlete, but I was a walk-on, so I didn't earn any type of scholarship for myself until I was like a junior. So I was taking out loans to pay for school and also working and also being a student athlete. I honestly feel a little embarrassed to be talking about this, especially on the internet, but I know that student loans aren't something that's unique to me, that it's something we all are going through right now. As for my repayment plan, I actually don't really plan to pay them off anytime soon because I'm focusing on investing and putting my money into real estate. I know some people just can't sleep well at night knowing that they have student loans, but me personally, I'm just like, it is what it is. I talk about all things money and investing, so if that's interesting, be sure to I owe about $33,000 in student loans.
Okay. So she owes 33. I thought it was 133 initially, so that's why I had to replay it. But yeah, 33,000. I mean, it might not sound like she has zero debt. I'm assuming prior to this, so yeah, 33,000 is a lot, but it could be a lot higher. Mine was a lot higher than that. So yeah, 33,000. She talked about having the repayment plan based on her income. And I talked about this, and I was just glad to see that somebody's actually using that. She's only paying $200 a month, and she knows that she's not going to be paying it off anytime soon. And she is using her extra money towards investing, which is great. Like she knows it may take a while. She's not complaining. She is utilizing her money in like ways that you can increase your money faster, I feel like, or at a higher rate. I don't know the amount of interest of student loans are, but usually those are like pretty low. So yeah, if you're getting like 5-10%, back from investing versus you trying to pay this off, that's only increasing by 2%. Yeah, you are losing money if you were trying to pay it out real quick. So yeah, I think what she's doing right now is good. Again, depending on what you're investing in, it actually probably will be better for you to do that versus trying to pay off your student loans really quick. Now, if you just happen to have the money, that's a whole different story. Now, her case had an extra $33,000. Like, hey, I want to pay this off right now. Hey, you can do you. But yeah, if you want to invest that, pay your low amount, because again, it's low interest, and and have something else that's paying you a higher interest, then hey, I think that's actually something pretty good. Now, you can let me know in the comments if that's something that you guys agree with or not. But yeah, I don't really have an issue with that. Again, she's applying herself, trying to find multiple sources of income. I like to see it. I like to see that. So let's go and put the last one real quick. This one, like I believe, more of a comedy. Well, let's see.
Nothing's new, 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 nothing's new.
Okay, let's play it one more time.
Nothing's new, 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 nothing's.
All right, I think that's a good one to end it. And yeah, that is pretty much how it feels like to have student loans. You go on through life, you start working, and then after a while, it hits you right here. It's like, dang, I got all the student loan debt still. So I got all this right going. You gotta, cry it out one time, 2 times, 3 times, maybe a year. Then you got to think about life a little bit more in your car, maybe for a couple more years. And then a couple more years, you're really still thinking about it. Like, God dang, I still got all these loans. And then, you got to embrace it, get back to, living a normal life, get back to enjoying life, looking at the scenery, get back to chores and whatnot. And yeah, being a regular. If you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.